Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call this regular town board meeting to order. It is Wednesday, October 30th. The time is 6:30 p.m. I'd like to ask everybody to please rise and say the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, are there any public comments or questions on agenda items only? If you have any comments or questions, please approach the podium. Seeing nobody approach the podium, we'll move on. What happened here? Reports of the Recreation Director and Highway Superintendent. Julie, you want to start us off?
Hello, everybody. I'm Julie Muncy from Dover Recreation. Just a few things. This weekend we had the trunk or treat. And I want to just thank everybody who came out, all the kids, all the parents, out my staff who helped, town board that came out, all our trunkers that handed out candy. We had a great turnout. I want to thank Erin Muncy and Marianne Johnson for helping with the donuts and the drinks. And a big thank you to our senior program who did our witches dance and a couple other dances to entertain everybody and gave out lollipops. So thank you everybody who came out and participated. It was a beautiful day. Windy, but beautiful. Also, I'd like to say a big thank you to Sebastian and Michelle Merlot who raised money through their Havoc on the Hill Halloween trail that they have every year. They donated $1,000 to our scholarship program. So I definitely want to thank you very, very much, and it will definitely benefit the families of the town. Our weekly programs are very, very busy, so we're continuing that. Our basketball program is starting in the beginning of December, the first week of December. And the games start in January, so if anybody please register now, the sooner the better. This way we can figure out basketball jerseys. So we're not waiting till the last minute. On December 7th at 6 p.m., our Holiday Fest and tree lighting starts. In the next few weeks, actually we started already, but in the next few weeks, we're putting up all the decorations, all the lights, all the displays. We just ask everybody who comes down to the park, please don't leave or sit on the displays once they come out. So just be very careful. They're all mostly handmade or bought, so we don't want to get them ruined. And last, I just want to thank my recreation staff for all the stuff that they've been doing, as well as the highway guys. They helped with the holiday, are helping with our holiday setup, as well as they're moving the big old piles of dirt over by the pond to make that look nice over there for the winter before we finish up in the spring. Any other questions?
Julie, I'm sorry, I had to go get something for my report.
That's okay.
What was the date on the holiday lighting?
December 7th at 6 p.m. at Boise.
Saturday?
Yep. Saturday.
And that's the week after or week before JHK, do we know?
We usually do it the Saturday after that.
Okay,
They do it the
so they would be doing it probably the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Julie, I just want to say thank you for the beginning of the month with the holiday, with the hurricane relief that we took care of. I'll do some of that in my report, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Merlot.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't walked through that, that's a pretty good event up there. They do a great job up there. They do theirs as well as Councilman Maluta. They put out their displays every Halloween, but that's a walkthrough up there, and they donate money. They donate the monies to everybody, so that's a good job up there. Thank you for them. Highway Superintendent, Jason Sartori.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
The highway department's been busy this month. One of the things we did is we removed the old bathroom at the Ketchum Park, so if everybody notices that missing. we took that out of there, and Andrew House and Katie House have a project going on there where they're gonna put new bathrooms in place of that there. So that should be really good. It's gonna work out awesome. We also completed millings on Chippewa Road and West Duncan Road. A month or so ago, we started it. We had received millings from the county, County Route 4 that the County Highway Department was doing. We didn't quite have enough. They did another section. They gave us a whole bunch more, so we were able to finish that up. We still have millings left over, and we'll probably use those next year. We're just gonna decide which dirt road we can use them on. Right now, we're about halfway through our fall grading, which should be completed here in the next couple of weeks. Get them ready for winter. They're in really good shape this year, actually. So we lucked out. We don't have to do the entire roads, just certain areas of them. Also, the paperwork has been submitted for extreme weather recovery, pave over potholes, pave New York, and CHIPS reimbursement. We should be receiving our check back soon from that. All our paperwork went in, and that should come to about $293,000 that we get through all those programs. To pave our roads, which we did this year, which was Old Pauling Road and Berkshire Road. The other thing was, snow season is coming, which I really don't like, but we'll have to deal with it. I'd like to remind residents that the law prohibits residents from leaving parked cars or parking on town roads from October 15th to April 15th. Keep them out of the way so it's easier for us to plow, and there's no accidents or we don't hit your car with anything. And also, please do not leave your garbage cans on the sides of the town roads. Leave them on your lawn if it's going to snow, because otherwise they're in our way. Our guys are going to hit them with a plow, and the homeowners will call and complain that we hit their garbage cans, and sorry, but if they're in the way, they're going to get hit. That's the way it's going to be. The Highway Department is looking for 2 heavy motor equipment operators. I have 2 positions open, so if anybody knows anybody, please have them stop by. And that's it. I'd like to thank my team for all the hard work that they do, and Terry for all the work that she does for me all the time. Anything else?
I was given a question, and I said I would ask you tonight. Are we going to put up some signage of any type for that, for the road parking issue?
There's signs that are up, there's signs that are around town that say between October 15th and April 1st.
Well, the big question was concerning the Wingdale development. So we'll talk about it.
I'm pretty sure when you pull on Reagan's Mill,
As soon as you
Is there one?
As soon as you pull over
Okay.
the bridge, it's there.
so there's signs that are up for that.
Perfect. All right, and what we'll do is we'll try to post that on our website as well and share it. 'Cause I see an issue coming this year.
Next meeting, I'll say the same thing.
Yeah, we'll reiterate it and share it as much as we can.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Reports of the town board members and the supervisor. Start with Councilman Holmes.
Yes, I've spoken with Jason about projects coming up and finished projects, and things look to be going well. Cleaning up the wreck down there, getting that dirt put away. That's just what they've done so far. Looks awesome. That's all I got.
Great. Councilman Maluta.
Okay, first off, I would like to thank the town of Dover as a whole for the donations to the good people of North Carolina, Tennessee, and all those affected by Hurricane Helene. Many of us saw the devastation on the news and social media, but to eyewitness what my son Ty and I saw, to smell the uncovered dirt, snapped, broken, massive trees down, uprooted property, destroyed, mountainsides that just collapsed, transformed landscape, lives, livelihoods, neighborhoods lost. You step out of the truck, the smell of life and death all in the same whiff. It's powerful. Our donations and the continued donations are answered to prayers, and that is powerful. Samaritan's Purse is worth your donations, and if you have Facebook, you can join us at Project WNC Hurricane Helene Relief Hudson Valley Community in conjunction with Father's Vineyards Church of North Carolina, which is where my son and I brought our trailer of generous supplies, or contact the town of Dover, the town hall. Next, on the 16th, I visited the Tunnel for Towers mobile exhibit that was on display at 10 Mile River Preserve. It was only there for a short time, as they're a traveling exhibit. Another organization that's worth your donations, is if you're considering anything, as the holidays are approaching. Third, the parking lots at the American Legion Post 1949 and the library are finally properly paved. I met with the contractors of Peckham Road Corp. And our highway superintendent, Jason Torrey, and everything went as planned. Great job by everyone involved. Fourth, Halloween trunk or treat was a howling success. Also, there are many fine, fun, and spooky Halloween displays throughout our town. Enjoy and please be respectful of private property. Halloween is tomorrow. Be safe, everyone. And finally, Election Day is next week. I say vote your faith, your family, your budget. Get out and vote. Bring your neighbor if they need a ride. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jan. Councilwoman Jackson.
Just a message from the Dover Plains Library Board of Trustees and the Director to thank the town board members and New York State Assemblyman Anil Beefan for paving of the parking lots, as Councilman Maluta mentioned. They look very good. The school is announcing that they're having a Winterfest craft fair this Saturday, and Children's Home of Poughkeepsie is having a family fest on November 15th. And that's just in conjunction with the school and the library to open house for their services and games and food. That's November 15th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at their building on Route 55 in Wingdale.
Thank you. Deputy Supervisor Murphy.
So, report is going to be quick, but both council members, Maluta and Jackson, just said it, the parking lot at the library and Veterans. These are projects that we were planned, and now that they're coming together, you do see the results of the hard work that we've been putting together behind everything that we put in front of everyone. So, hats off to everybody that's involved. I do apologize that I was not at Trunk or Treat this week, but I heard it was a success. But as always, with Halloween tomorrow, Woodwinds, Country Mills, guys, take it slow, be careful in those developments. So that's my report.
Thank you, Jay. Report of the supervisor. I'll go right to that first. I did have something to say, but enough has been said about the library and the Legion. But we do have to thank Assemblyman Beefan. That was a $50,000 grant that he obtained for us through the state. Got something?
Yeah, just have to, after you're done.
Okay. So we thank him for that. We thank everybody that did some of the prep work and getting ready for it. Julie, if you have something to say, come on, step right up, and I'll continue after you.
I forgot to tell everybody this Monday, November 4th, there is a vaccine clinic going on in the senior program through the Beekman Pharmacy. So they're going to be there from 10:30 to 11:30. You can just come and just make sure you bring your ID and your insurance or Medicare card, Medicaid and Medicare card.
Okay, thank you.
What's the vaccination? COVID?
They're doing flu, COVID, I believe. There's a few of them.
Those are the two.
There's like 4 or 5.
Of shingles?
Yes, shingles. That was with the other one, shingles.
Okay.
Thank you. So along with that, we discussed today in my office, we are going to be working on getting some prices to get those at least the library end marked out with parking spaces and lines and handicap spaces. I'm hoping to be able to make that work before winter. If not, we'll find a way in the springtime, but money is tight right now, okay? That wasn't covered in the grant. So that's that. I do have a message to relay concerning the mountain fire that the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company has been fighting, as well as other departments since early Sunday morning. On behalf of the chief and the officers of the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company, we'd like to thank everyone. The departments and agencies that have been fighting the fire since Sunday. It's 2 states, 3 or 4 counties, county sheriffs, New York State Police, New York State Police Aviation Department. They're all involved, as many as, and a lot of other volunteers throughout this county. The update, as per Chief Aubrey, is we're still fighting it. They had another crew there today. They are planning to put another crew on the mountain tomorrow as well with the Rangers. The weather at this time, you'll see a post that I was asked to put out. The weather is not very conducive. It's hot, It's warm. The wind is gone away, so that helps. But it's very, very dry. And what's happened is the fire has made its way under what they call a dead layer. And that's all the leaves and brush that have come down over the years. And it's now found its way underneath it, and it travels. The heat travels. So it'll pop up here, and then you'll turn around a half hour later, and it'll be burning 100 yards away from you, and nothing in between. It'll just come up. So that's what they've been fighting the last couple days. But we got to thank everybody. The residents in this town and our neighboring towns, I posted as well, on their behalf, have just stepped up big time. I mean, there's 200 cases of water in Gatorade split between the two firehouses, food, supplies, snack-type foods to take up on the mountain with you so you have it. It was pretty incredible. It really was. So on the chief's behalf, he asked me to say something. He thanks everybody. With that, you all see that I had to declare a state of emergency Sunday night at 8 p.m. State of emergency because of the conditions that we are under, the weather conditions. I initiated a burn ban. Burn ban means no open burning whatsoever. Nothing. With that, we now have the authority to write a violation, call a police agency in, do what we need to do. Fire company has the right to come in and automatically just put it out, no matter what it is. The burn ban cancels every type of open burning whatsoever. 3 or 4 towns initiated it by Sunday. I was 8 p.m. Sunday night. Monday morning, we had a county-wide supervisor and mayor's call with the county office, the emergency response, New York State Rangers office, as well as both sheriffs and state police. And since then, I'd have to say probably 85% of the county has initiated it as well. It's just about county-wide, and council sent me some information and advised me tonight that Putt County has declared a burn ban countywide. Okay? It's unsafe. It is not safe. And we need you to adhere to that advice, to that declaration that these towns have made. Okay? Enough with that. CDBG grant awarded. I think I mentioned it last meeting, but we received a letter since then. Dear Supervisor Yino, I am pleased to inform you that your municipality has been awarded $87,500 through the 2024 Community Development Block Grant, CDBG program, for the following project: an ADA-compliant crosswalk improvements at School Street and Route 22 in Dover Plains. It was our pleasure to work with members of the county legislature, Community Development Advisory Committee, and other stakeholders to select the projects that best address both local needs and county priorities. So that project will be taking place hopefully early next year. I have to thank wholeheartedly to our town clerk, Katie Palmer House, who writes our grants for us. Once again, home run. And everybody that was involved. Joe, he did some looking and written some spec writing for us. The people we met with out there. So thank you very much. $87,500. At this time, myself, Julie, and a member of my finance office staff, we're working with Cricket Valley Energy in hopes to do a project or have them involved in the purchasing of some equipment that is both built to be energy efficient and with low carbon emissions. They reached out to us as well as the school districts to do something for the town. So we're putting some plans together. We had put a plan together and it wasn't conducive to the specifications that DEC gave Cricket Valley. So we started working again on another couple ideas, hopefully one big project, and they'll accept the entirety. But if not, something will be done, whether it's just some equipment, something that's built, or we in hopes to cut the cost and some energy on a couple of our town buildings. So we're working on that with them. As Jay brought up, Halloween, and Jan as well, Halloween is tomorrow. I ask everybody to please be safe, and please respect our senior citizens parks and our neighborhoods. The sheriffs have been the request has been put into the sheriffs, I believe, by a local business to put an extra car on duty, I believe, in the Wingdale area. I do remember seeing an email with that. But please, be safe, have respect for those people that live in the neighborhood, especially our seniors. They love handing out the county, but, times are tough right now, so please keep that in mind for everybody. And it was touched on about the both projects going on at our parks, the bathroom projects. And again, we remain to get ready for winter at both locations throughout the town, both of our parks, and getting our equipment ready at rec and highway, as Jason stated. And winter's coming, people. Get ready. I think that's all I have. Anybody else? Forget anything? Okay, moving on. In the agenda, next is a continued discussion on the 2025 tentative town budget. Clear this up. Okay. First thing we'll look at is Nicole prepared a sheet. Print is a little small, but that's all right. And that is the changes that have been made since our discussion at the last meeting, which used to be called a workshop, but it's a special board meeting. That way we can handle everything, but we discussed it page by page. You'll see in those first 3 lines adjustments that have been made. First line, non-property tax distribution by county, that's the sales tax. You see the tentative budget had $760,000. You're going to see a difference of $20,000 on the increase. This is revenue, so it actually helps us. So what we did since that last meeting, we've been given a report. So what myself and my office figure is we can help our budget by increasing it because we estimate that we will be getting at least that or more. Okay, we didn't go to what the full amount that the report showed, okay, because it might not come in like that. But the reports and the data shows that $780,000 is more than a safe amount to put into that revenue line. So that's a $20,000 difference, which basically comes off the budget and helps us. Okay? Line down, planning board fees, projects, final reports for this last quarter. Shows that we could add a little bit more to that, so we added $2,000 to the revenue line on that. That helps us. And interest and earnings, things have changed, different plans, the changes that we've made. We were able to up that as well by $3,000. So you see the change to the revenue is an increase of $25,000. Okay, which is a helper to the budget. Then you go down the line, and you see 3 columns. You see the tentative, the preliminary, and the difference. Any line you see a difference in parentheses, okay, that is a decrease, meaning we took away and it helped us, all right, in some cases, all right? So if you were to go down that line, the first one, the accountant and consultants, the tentative was an estimate based on the numbers that they were giving us. The numbers have come in and finalized, and $3,000 is plenty. $4,000 wasn't needed. Okay? Budget assistant, this next group is the stipends that we all talked about for personnel. We finally adjusted everything to where they should be. They are the lines that have been taking a beat in the last 5 years. Basically no increases. That is a salary for some people. Okay. Okay. We're going to go down the line. And I'm going to go to where it says computer replacements. You see that? Mm-hmm. See that $9,000? Yep. That $9,000 is now out of the budget. We had ways and means to make it work this year. So what we did, because we have the way and the means, we took care of it this year and took it out of next year's budget, which helped us. Mm-hmm. Okay? The next few lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all having to do with Edmunds, right? That's our computer programming. Final numbers came in, okay? They were all tentative, no pun intended with the budget intended, okay? So you'll see, no parentheses, there's slight increases. All right? Final numbers, though. The numbers in the tentative budget were not final at that point in time because they just didn't get it to us in time. So now they have, so you'll see those numbers, they are increases, no parentheses around them. Backup DCO, that is the dog control officer. Remember we talked about that? We now have a backup dog control officer. Sometimes Brett needs assistance. We had to add that $1,000 in. That is basically to cover his time, okay? Building department, again, this is a group of stipends that have not been adjusted to where they should be in years, so this is the year to do it. The ambulance contract, here you go. Here's the big one. You'll see in the tentative budget, $510,700. You'll see next to it, $401,563 that is now in this preliminary budget if we pass it tonight. A difference of $109,137, and that is due to some heavy negotiations, some heavy deal-making, and I will say it, some plain-out begging. We all knew, the three towns involved in this contract, we knew that the increase was coming. That was a 5-year contract, and they lived with just a 2% increase for 5 years, and that was through COVID and all the nonsense after COVID. And they lost money, okay? So we've been negotiating with them now for 4 months, Tom? 4 months at least. And they sat down to the table and they realized that the initial increase that took it to 510,000 from under 300, they knew what it was doing to the towns and to the taxpayers. So what we did is we talked, we hashed it out, phone calls upon phone calls and meetings, and we got the first year down to that. Okay? The second year contract is another kind of a big hit. They have a number that they have to get to, okay? And what they did is they cut the increase big time in the first year, and they're trying to get it into the second year and into the third year to get to that number. So instead of getting there the first year, maybe second year of the contract, they're taking it to 3 years for us. So they spread it out, I'll say. All right? So the 510 went to 401. The second year is another $159,000 increase. But what I did this year, and you'll see it when I go through some pages, I initiated, and Tom will work with us on this because we did it in the past. We're putting in the budget a $50,000 contingency line strictly for the EMS contract payments. So what it's doing is it's putting $50,000 into this budget for next year. So instead of a $159,000 hit, it's a $109,000 hit. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
Okay? That's just, it's planning ahead, it's budgeting to help us when we go into '26. Okay? So that was the big one there. Zoning code consultant, that's $5,000. It used to be 12. That is to help our zoning committee, the consultant for our comprehensive plan, for our zoning code changes. It was requested that remain in there, and it is justified. They are still working. There's still a lot of work to be done. There are some big projects that want to come to Dover. So we're going to keep that $5,000 in there, okay? Retirement fund contribution, we now have to split it upon 2 pages, but after they got back to us and everything else, you'll see a major decrease there. And the rest is Social Security, Medicare, that's just standard. Once they got us the final numbers, of course, they didn't give us enough in the preliminary, and we had to up it on this one, okay? Then when you go to, you'll see 2017 Mack dump, 218 loader, and the ban. $76,800 in your tentative. That is now zero. What we did is we took a major permit fee for a project going on in this town, and in order to help our budget and help our taxpayers out, we took that fee and we paid off that ban early. We saved thousands of dollars in interest, and we also removed $76,800 from our budget. And what that does is it helps compensate the other major increases, okay? And like we talked about last time, the major increases were things that we can't help. Utilities, 27%. Insurances across the board. Medical and liability, 12%. Upwards of 12%. Right? Fuel had to go up. We had to be safe, right? A little bit. We talked about it last meeting. Okay? So what we did is we took that big payment for the permit, for the project up the road, and we paid off that ban to help us out. Everybody okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Smart.
That's basically the major okay, the major thing. So we're going to go to the computer screen now. Second column over, budgetary provisions, capital reserve, and restricted. See that $50,000? Top line? That is the $50,000 that we are going to earmark for the EMS contract for next year. Okay? We have to dedicate that. Is that by resolution, Tom? Remember how we did that for last time?
You can put it in the budget, since it hasn't, in the final budget is restricted. That should be fine.
Okay. So that's $50,000 for the EMS contract. That $25,000 down, that's Jason's line that we initiated back when we took over, right, Jason?
Yes.
That is strictly restricted for equipment. We jokingly say that's the equipment line. You can buy anything from a weed whacker to a truck. But that's what that is. This is one way that we help distribute the pilot monies that we collect from the Cricket Valley, revenues that come in. And what happens is in 4 or 5 years, he'll have 100, 125, or even more to put down on a major piece of equipment if needed. See what we do that? And that's what that is. It's a vehicle, the fire department calls it the vehicle replacement line. Okay, and they put so much away every year out of their budget. This is a way to save money for Jason, so when he comes to us and says, I need to buy a new dump truck with a wing and a plow and a sander setup, it's $250,000, and maybe we have 150 in the bank already for him. That's what that line is, okay? And then the 75 is just the subtotal, all right? Next line. That is your tentative page, what you saw the first time. And if you go back, and we'll go forward and then we'll go back to it. These are the pages we went page by page. Okay, increases were the standard increases, the raises, based upon contractual raises that highway gets. Okay? So that's just standard increases in salaries, hourly wages. All right? Tax collector, the budget officer, they are stipends. The budget assistant, I should say. You'll see the increase there. That line on the adopted of 24 was very similar to 5 years before that. And what we have done is we have studied the county, we have studied other towns, and we have manipulated it to the point where we think it's a fair wage for the job that that person does. Okay? Any questions? Nope. All right? So you'll be able to go through the pages. There isn't many changes. The changes that you'll see, I just went through on this one sheet, okay? But the tentative budget, all the way to the right, you see that 10.22? That's what it was at the last meeting. 10.22% right here. For those of you in the crowd, you can see it. That's the budget increase. That's the increase in our budget. Tax cap is 2%. So with that, and everything that we had to put into this budget, 90% of it was just mandatory increases. 10.2, that's 8.2% over the cap. $6.1 million down here. Now we go to the preliminary, which I hope to vote in tonight. I have to thank my office. I have to thank the clerk's office, staff, department heads for understanding where we did do some cutting, or you may not have gotten everything you've asked for, but you got some of it, if not most of it. I can't thank you enough. We scratched our heads today again before we went to print on this. My budget is a work in progress until November 20th. Some supervisors don't believe in that. If I see something that our residents need, or I see something that it can help the residents in their tax bills, I will cut it the minute before we vote it in on the 20th. And that's just the way I roll. Some towns won't do that. Some towns are already passed. Okay? But look at that number there, the 6.1 and the 10.2. And in a couple weeks since our last meeting, what I'm looking for you all to accept tonight is that 4.44% increase. That is 2.4 over the cap. Now, we had a major windfall, and that helped. But the rest of it is the work from my staff, these board members' suggestions, and a lot of begging with the contracts that we are in negotiations with right now. And we all made it happen. I know I'm the budget officer, but there is a lot of help that goes into these pages that you see here. 4.44%, 6.1 down to 5.9.
Wow.
Okay? And again, there may be some things that have to change due to late notice, up or down. I got to be honest with you. All right? But I can't thank my staff enough, and every department head in here. I thank every one of them. Okay? So that's where we're at. Any questions?
No.
Any questions?
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Good job. Hopefully, we got an election coming up.
Hopefully it stays that way. So the next resolutions. Resolution to authorize and approve consent agenda items. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby approve the following items for consideration and adoption on the October 30th, 2024 Town Board regular meeting consent agenda. Authorize the payment of abstract number 10 of 2024 in the amount of $291,940.96. Approve the town clerk's report for September 2024. Approve the town supervisor's financial report for September 2024. Accept unanticipated revenues, authorize budget transfers, budget amendments, and payment of all abstract purchase orders as prepared and submitted by the town's bookkeeper. Hire seasonal highway drivers David Sartori and Howard Kraft for the 2024-25 winter season at the recommendation of the town highway superintendent, Jason Sartori, at the hourly rate contained in the IBT Local 456 contract with the town of Dover. Acknowledge limited and seasonal use of Berkshire Road between November 1st, 2024 to April 1st, 2025, as authorized by the Highway Superintendent, and that snow plowing services shall not be done by the town of Dover, and through traffic will not be permitted from December 1st, 2024 to April 1st, 2025. Award 2025 Town Mowing and Trimming Services, RFP, to, do you have that name, Madam Clerk?
I gave you a copy of the bid results if you want to take the lowest bidder. I just wanted you to make sure you had seen it.
Again, award 2025 Town Mowing and Trimming Services RFP to ABA Land Management in the amount of $32,000. Schedule public hearing for the 2025 budget assessments for the Cricket Hill and Mills Drainage Districts for Wednesday, November 6, 2024, at 6:30 p.m. at Dover Town Hall, and accept the resignation of part-time records clerk Isabella Martinez, effective October 25th, 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Brought by Murphy and seconded by Maluta. Discussion?
Supervisor,
Yes.
can I just make a correction that I should have had in the limited and seasonal use? And the very last line, it should be November 1st instead of December, so it matches the previous November 1st.
That is the last sentence in Dover and through traffic will permitted from
November 1st.
November 1st.
Okay.
Any discussion? I'll just say one thing. I'd like to wish Isabella Martinez the best of luck
Yep.
in her newest endeavor. She's moved out of town.
Yes.
She was a great employee. She's always, in my eyes, she's always welcome back. And we wish her the best of luck and nothing but good down there where she moved to. Okay, other than that, any other discussion?
Yeah. Question on the mowing and trimming. Do we know the person? I'm assuming.
Yes, we do.
Because I went to the website, I couldn't find anything on him. So
I can-
47 Cedarberry Lane, Dover, he's local.
Yeah. I went
I
there.
believe that's former New York State Trooper Garofalo.
Okay. And you're okay with that? With the services, everything that's... Okay. All right. I'll
Good?
go for what she needs.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried. There's the test. In recognition of the Schaghticoke Mohican peoples, past and present, whereas the Schaghticoke Mohican peoples are indigenous peoples of New York, Connecticut, and surrounding regions, and were historically represented by many autonomous bands and communities identified as Mohican, Schaghticoke, Wampanoos, Pequot, etc. And whereas Sassacus, Grand Sachem of the Pequot, sought refuge in the Dover Stone Church with the survivors of the Pequot Massacre at the Battle of Mystic in May of 1637. And whereas survivors of Sassacus's family lived to pass down this oral history through generations of knowledge keepers from 1637 down to Sassacus's granddaughter to her son Gideon Maui and Gideon's granddaughter Eunice Maui, who was documented as living at Fishkatuck, Schaghticoke, in Kent, Connecticut. And whereas famed historian Benson J. Lossing learned the story of Sassacus taking refuge in the stone church through Eunice Maui, and whereas Gideon Maui was known to have lived in Dover and had a village here, maintaining close ties between the Schaghticoke Reservation and the nearby town of Dover, and whereas Gideon's father, Squants, has been the keynote speaker at the planting of the Wittengamot Treaty Tree in Schaghticoke, Rensselaer County, New York in 1676, and the Wampum Carrier for the Covenant Chain Treaties in New York from the 1630s to his death near 1700. And whereas dozens of Moravian diaries and meeting minutes clearly document the story of their interrelated Scotticook Mohican people's daily lives, struggles, and triumphs in this region, as well as in nearby communities, and whereas descendants of the indigenous Scotticook Mohican peoples exercising their inherent right to self-determination are represented today in New York by the Scotticook First Nations. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Dover pauses to recall the important contributions of the Scotticook Mohican residents of this region to the historic development of this town, and their descendants still proudly remain in our and other nearby communities in the Harlem and greater Hudson Valley region, determined to pass on their history and culture to present and future generations. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Jackson, seconded by Murphy. Discussion. This is a piece of Dover history, people.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
This is a piece of Dover history, and I'm proud to have read it. Honored. With that, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Resolution authorizing the payoff of outstanding balance on bond anticipation note, BAN. Whereas on October 29th, 2020, the town of Dover authorized a bond anticipation note from NBT Bank, N.A., in the amount of $384,000 for the Highway Department equipment machinery, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby authorize the payoff in full of the ban in the amount of $272,102.46, along with any necessary interest per diem, which shall save the town future interest payments. And be it further resolved that the payment of this ban shall be made from budgeted appropriations and unanticipated revenue. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Maluda and seconded by Holmes. Discussion. This is the ban that I discussed in the budget discussion.
Yep.
Saves us a bunch of money, which helped us.
Yes. Brilliant.
Any further discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Did I miss one? In order.
Maybe a little further.
Resolution adopting tentative budget as preliminary budget for 2025 and notice of public hearing. Whereas the tentative budget has been filed with the town clerk of the town of Dover, and whereas pursuant to Section 108 of the town law, all right, where was I? Town law, a public hearing must be held by the town board upon the preliminary budget on or before the Thursday immediately following the general election. Now therefore be it resolved that the tentative budget as amended by the adopted as the preliminary budget for 2025 by the town board of the town of Dover, and be it further resolved that the preliminary budget sets the following salaries for 2025 for the following town officials. Town supervisor, $27,718. Town councilman, $7,462.50 each. Town clerk, $54,876. Town highway superintendent, $75,090. Town justice, $27,562 each. Tax collector, $13,793. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Dover has scheduled a public hearing upon said preliminary budget at Dover Town Hall, 126 East Duncan Hill Road, Dover Plains, New York, and on November 6, 2024, at 6:30 p.m. or as soon thereafter as public hearing can be heard. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to have copies of the preliminary budget available in her office for public distribution and review by the public. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Maluda. Any discussion?
You did a good job.
Again, this is going from the tentative to the preliminary. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried, and thank you very much.
We still have one more resolution to do. To authorize council to draft a local law. Do you see it there?
Got the 2.5% next.
Okay, great, as long as we have that. Okay, good, thank
I
you.
got, it's right there on the screen.
Okay, good, thank you.
Yep.
I didn't see it.
It was
I
in the, it was in the wrong order in my packet.
No worries, we're good, we're good.
Okay? Resolution authoring town council to draft a local law to override the 2% tax cap. Whereas the town board of the town of Dover believes it to be in the best interest of the citizens and taxpayers of the town to craft a responsible and financially prudent yet realistic town budget for 2025. And whereas the town board of the town of Dover has proposed a budget that would exceed the property 2% limitation, and now therefore be it resolved that introductory local law number 1 of the year 2024 before the town board of the town of Dover in the county of Dutchess and state of New York, which law would authorize the town board of the town of Dover to exceed the 2% property tax levy for the 2025 budget, and be it further resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing on said proposed amendment at the town hall in the town of Dover, New York, at 6:30 p.m. on November 6, 2024, as soon thereafter may be heard. And be it further resolved that the town clerk publish or cause to be published to the public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Dover.
Just have one correction. The clerk corrected it. It's local law number 2.
Local law number 2? Okay,
Yeah, we did one.
okay. With that correction, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Brought by Murphy,
Second.
seconded by Sue. Councilwoman Jackson. Discussion. This is what I brought to you a couple meetings ago that we knew it was going to happen. We almost didn't have to, but, you know, I fell about 2.5% shy.
Almost don't want to vote on it, so you can come up with another 4%.
Yeah, you want me to come up with another 2? But I feel this is in order this year. I am not the only town that had to bring this to their board members. So
Controllables and
it is the cost of doing business, which is the greater part of the increase in all of our budgets this year. And several towns have the same EMS issue that we've been up against. You know, the 3 within our contract and several throughout the county. So with that, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none opposed, the ayes have it, so carried. Thank you very much. That is the first. At this point in time, following the agenda, are there any public comments? If there are any public comments, please approach the podium. Seeing nobody approaching the podium, upcoming meetings. Next Wednesday, November 6th, 6:30. That is our public hearings on the budget, the override,
And Cricket Hill and Mill drainage
Cricket Hill and
districts.
Mill drainage districts. That's every year, okay? That is next Wednesday, November 6th. We will also have the yearly presentation from the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company. So if we can, if I can remember to put them somewhat early on the agenda. The meeting after that, remember that is a date change. It will be Wednesday, November 20th, for 2 reasons. One by law and one by, it is the night before Thanksgiving, it would have been. So by law, we have to do it on or before November 20th to adopt our budget for the following year, 2025. So the next meeting will be November 20th at 6:30 p.m. That will be a regular board meeting and the vote to bring in the budget into effect for next year. Do I have anything else? Did I forget anything? Nope. With that, I'd like to make the motion that we go into an executive session to discuss litigation With that, we will not be returning to the dais. So I have made a motion to go into an executive and not return to discuss litigation. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Thank you all very much. Have a good night and be safe tomorrow night. Thank you, everybody.